The next one is entitled Death of Christian McMiller, Darius Ford.
Dang.
And I assume when these come in, they're not going to have these titles on them, but okay, just making sure. Any issue on that?
No.
Okay. And then there's an attachment that I can't tell what is. Just said,
I do have an issue.
what is that? It's all I can see. It looks like a screenshot, one by one.
Yes, Your Honor, it's a screenshot from Instagram.
Okay.
That says 1 by 1. And we believe it's close in time to when Christian passed it. Posted.
Are we supposed to be able to see that? I mean, is who posted it or the date or anything going to be visible?
When we go to the actual phone number, Your Honor, there's a picture viewer. I believe that picture is, you can actually see the picture, we just screenshotted and clipped it.
Okay.
This is a clip in this consolidated form, but when we go to this text message, and this is still on phone, you'll see the attachment, and then you should click it, so it should be the actual picture of the screenshot, not this blurry version.
So who wrote it?
Oh, no.
Thanks.
So that's the image that he sent. See where it says image?
Okay, so,
It's there.
okay.
You can keep it if you want.
Oh, man.
So you're saying that down below is listed Apple Messages, main, I guess maybe that's some sort of an emoji, but it's 470, ends in 7004, from 3/11/22. Is that what y'all are saying is significant?
Yes.
And that number liked the image that is the 1 by 1?
That's correct, Your Honor.
What number, like?
You're saying 7,004.
Okay, I don't know. Y'all are going to have to explain.
I just want to know
Who's back there popping the can? Just Whitaker.
the images.
People
I-
still drink out of
I'm trying
cans?
to
That's crazy.
understand Evidentiarily, how this gets in.
Me too.
Okay, so this.
Your Honor, I'm pulling up the Cellbrite itself.
Okay.
But, you know, the green messages are statement of party opponent, are where he says, on the PDF I'm looking at, he's mentioning the death of Christian McMiller and Darius Ford, and then in Cellbrite,
He,
defendant Stillwell.
which number?
He is any green text, Your Honor, highlighted is
The
going to be
ones,
him.
green, they have a green box
Yes, Your
around
Honor.
them?
Those are all statement of party opponents.
Because it says on the right, data source, and that's his number that ends in 8694?
Yes, Your Honor, and this is physically extracted from his physical phone. And so they took it to APD, and in Cellbrite or XRY or Gray Key, every message he sends in this entire phone
Okay.
is going to be in green.
Okay.
And that's from the physical phone itself.
All right, so are we only seeing his messages and it's not like a conversation? Just help me sort of understand what it is we're looking at.
It is a conversation, and so when you, in a couple minutes, I'll pull it up so the court can see how this system shows it, but you can search by messages, by files, and so when you look at messages, it will have in chronological order the entirety of text messages saved on the phone. You also can search by terms or search by communications between parties. And
Right.
so what we will be seeing when we walk through this is sometimes a variety of those in terms of this specific excerpt is a text conversation between defendant Stillwell and who he has saved in his phone as Maine with the emoji.
Okay.
So, Your Honor, if you go just scroll down, for example, to the next page, there's someone named Brett Rossi.
Right.
The person that is on the other end of the conversation is in a gray bubble.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just kind of how all these look. But I don't know. My objection to this is
This meaning go up above again,
the
right?
one by one. That's not my client's words.
One by one is posted when? I mean, I see that apparently Mr. Stillwell's phone liked that image on 3/11 at 9:31 a.m. Is that what I'm supposed to take from this?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do we have, and is he talking when he likes the image to, is that a snake emoji? It's so small, I can't see it.
That is what I believe.
Hey, yo.
Okay. Main snake.
That's what she said.
So
I think it's actually a
Jeez.
lizard.
main lizard then. We'll just call it main. Is that who posted one by one? Or do we know?
Your Honor, I'm pulling up the actual
Yeah, I agree.
XRY. If one of them sent like a screenshot from Instagram, which that looks like Instagram where there's a song at the top left, I'm trying to pull up to see if it was, I believe what happened is the person he's speaking with sent him a screenshot one by one.
Okay.
And he liked it.
Okay.
And so the phone would capture him liking that message, just like you could like a picture someone text you.
Right, okay. All right, and Mr. Chart, what's your objection then?
Well, I need to understand the relevance of this.
And when is the McMillan Ford, I may not have those names right, McMiller Ford?
It was on March 11th, the early morning hours of March 11th, 2022. Oh, it's not. It was the
early morning hours of March 11th, 2022. Approximately, I think the police responded maybe around 2 or 3 a.m., Your Honor.
Okay. And so I guess this would be a suggestion that the one by one and liking that is a reference to those people's deaths. Is that right? Okay. Is that the theory?
The theory, which will be up for the jury to determine exactly what that meant,
Sure.
would be because of basically picking off the rivals one by one, shooting one by one the people who caused the double homicide death.
Interesting.
But who wrote?
But no one's going to be, that is, the jury can make of that what, but that is.
But that's why y'all are offering it. So to say that these two buddies of ours died and we're going to get whomever killed them one by one?
Because on March 14th, Shamel Drinks has a picture with Kelvin Watts and Jasper Walters, who are publicly
Shell Kel.
and quite aggressively disrespecting the double homicide publicly.
Has that evidence come in yet?
It is going to come in with investigator Viverito, so it has not been before the jury. So
Okay.
I'm not saying this, there is some evidence out there about this quite public disrespect of. There's one picture of a crossed out Mr. McMiller next to his child and says, "You didn't have a father now." So
God dang.
There's no words for that level of disrespect, and so that is what is publicly being put out into Instagram around this time.
Okay.
Of course, we're going to get there today because these are the things that I think really do need to be litigated. But
That's wild.
it doesn't apply to this. But there's no evidence that Mr. Stillwell saw any of these posts to my knowledge.
It's
Not,
Mr.
not this one.
There's no evidence that even say, let's say all of this is true. There's still no evidence that Shannon shot Shamel Drinks. They could have pulled up to the stoplight being like, yeah, I saw what you said, you Chad. Oh, you better watch out. Yeah, you better watch out. We're coming for you. We saw what you said. You talking big now. You talking big now? Fine. Yeah, keep talking and see what happens. And they drove off. That doesn't prove that they shot him.
I'm not talking about this one.
Well, right. Sounds like they don't even get posted until several days later.
But should that be brought before
I
the jury?
mean,
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe can the state articulate their position on why this is relevant?
It shows, oh man, I don't want to say I'm with the state. It shows motive. And if it was out there, it's most likely that Shannon saw it. I mean, maybe if they would have to prove that somebody from within YSL saw it, but at the end of the day, it's going to be, Max is going to have an easy time, I think, showing that the state doesn't have any evidence.
And so what we have ultimately is that there is no evidence, none,
that Shannon shot Shamel Drinks.
So, Your Honor, the state, the text messages, I think we're all in agreement, are relevant in terms of the state has to put forth evidence of the impact of that. The state's theory is this was retaliation for that.
This
Shamel Drinks' murder was
okay.
And so
Drinks' murder is retaliation for McMiller and Ford's murders a few days prior.
correct, Your Honor. So the text messages the state believes are, highly relevant to show, because you have to put forth evidence, and a private text message is good evidence of someone's state of mind of how that impacted the people by the state's theory that murdered Shamel Drinks because of that. And so when he and then the specific photograph of one by one, that can be up to interpretation, but the state feels that it's relevant that immediately after stating that, I lost my brothers.
Well, it's not immediately after stating it. It's before stating it, isn't it?
I was pulling up.
mean, at 9:31,
I don't think she's convinced about letting him in.
Mr. Stillwell likes an image that is one by one, which y'all are saying is a song title. Is that right? No, that came.
So you can tell a song is playing because of the top left with Instagram.
Okay, well,
But you can caption.
it is so minute on what I'm looking at that I can't see
Yes, Your Honor.
anything other than that there is some image and some
Right.
words. But you're saying if we look at it
And-
in a real clear version, it's going to show some song playing.
Yes, Your Honor. And I'm
The song significant?
Lawrence said the state continues to get hibachied.
no, Your Honor. The song's not significant.
Okay, so while a song is playing, Maine snaps a screenshot of it or screen grab or whatever of it, and Maine puts the words one by one on, ... on there, or what?
No, Your Honor. This is a whole other person's
Max,
Instagram that posts one by one. And they are sending this screenshot between each other.
Okay, so some random human in the universe who is somehow, whomever has access to through Instagram, has, while listening to a song, posted one by one ... And it doesn't matter who that is or what that means. Maine
Everybody's confused.
sends that snap of the screenshot to Mr. Stillwell, who then likes the image. And the state's theory is that by liking an image that says one
here we
by
go.
one, because it's several hours after the murder of his compatriots, that indicates that he intends to get revenge for the murder. Am I following your theory?
Correct, Your Honor?
Okay.
Right, and so what we have ultimately is that there is no evidence, none.
Garbage. Absolute garbage. Wow.
Okay.
Y'all better not be out here liking
I do
Instagram
not know
posts.
that Instagram handle. There is in my
It was me.
opinion, the two most highly likely
I did it.
Well, if we don't
purposes
know,
of that
we
picture
don't-
is either it could be a rival of someone of YFN posting one by one, and then defendant Stillwell and Main Slime are sending this photo to each other saying, look what they're publicly saying one by one.
Yeah, it was me. I did it. I sent it to him. Oh, it was me. I did it. I said one by one, and I sent it to him, and he liked it because, you know, Shannon's just a cool guy like that. Next.
And that probably is what it is. I do not know who
we
that
don't know
Instagram
that.
handle is, but I think it's
At ClassE
considering
Beats.
that this is sent on March 11th, and they are discussing this double homicide amongst each other, the impact. Send this screenshot one by one, and then
Okay.
there's multiple.
You're saying they're discussing this homicide amongst each other, but it is over an hour later that Mr. Stillwell says, my brother got killed, right?
Your Honor, I am pulling up the actual XRY to pull up the
Yikes.
full file so I can.
Okay.
And from my perspective, we've been in this trial for a long time, and to just throw this post without any context or knowledge of who the author is or anything else, because, I mean, the state just, I thought they were saying at first that this is some scheme going on where Main Lizard is saying one by one, we need to get them one by one, and
But
Shannon's
apparently that's
liking.
not what they're saying.
Right, well, there's a pretty big difference between those two things, and I keep going back, we don't know who the author is, and,
The author being the person who posted one by one?
right.
And I don't know, yeah, I mean, I guess in order for us to accept the theory that Main Lizard and Mr. Stillwell are, I don't know, conversing in some way about the potential for some sort of revenge, it would certainly be helpful for the state to be able to establish
Who
that
sent
was a
that?
rival gang member.
Exactly.
Although if a rival gang member posted something like that, why you would like that instead of dislike it, I don't know.
Well,
but-
you could, I mean, theoretically, you could like the fact that Main Lizard told you because people have been trying to kill you for years, and those same people are posting one by one. I would appreciate the heads up that of that knowledge. And so that's my point. These are two very vastly different theories, and I just don't know how we can just, from my perspective, just be throwing these things in front of the jury without even the knowledge of who wrote this and the context in which it's being considered.
Your Honor, the state can, if the
This
court
kid can
permits,
shut the fuck up.
admit the statement of party opponent of the text and not show the jury the attachment
So
between
the
these two.
statement by a party opponent is he liked an image?
No, Your Honor, the text beneath that. The state cannot
Exactly.
show him liking the one by one.
Okay,
And
so then that would be him saying, my brother got killed, and then him saying, and who is 3188? Because that seems to be a different phone number than Main Lizard. So is this even the same, how can this even be the same text chain?
So, Your Honor, the green text is what is
Oh my God.
key to follow here, because when Detective Leonpacker ripped the phone, the SIM card is exchanged like quite frequently in the phone. And so this raw phone the message sent from this,
Right?
there is multiple numbers for whatever reason
This
or
is
purpose,
insane.
but there's SIM cards switched in this phone. But this phone, this message, the green is from,
Mr. Stillwell?
Yes.
I got it. So this is Mr. Stillwell saying, in an entirely different conversation from the liked image, right?
yes, Your Honor.
My brother got killed.
Correct.
And then a few minutes later to the same person saying, I had to hurry, I couldn't even think straight. Man, I'm effed up right now. I'm going to just holler at you later.
That's a crime.
Is there objection to that? To Mr. Stillwell expressing grief at having lost somebody he knows?
No.
No.
Okay.
Although I will just say in the presentation of any of this to the jury, if there are clear conversations like going back between 625-3188, I don't have a problem with displaying them together, but I don't believe factually that if you looked at my client's phone, it would go from the main lizard to the 3188. So I think when we change people we're talking with, we probably need to have different exhibits because it creates an impression that there was this, then this, and this. And I don't think factually that's correct. And I'm not saying the state is doing this.
Yeah, I don't know why these were under the same thing, but
And Your Honor, the state has no, the state
It's
agrees
weird.
with Mr. Shart that when published to the jury, it will be clear that, whatever context or just that message itself.
okay.
The way the reason they're saved like this is, the data is massive in XRY, and so the main point was to highlight what the state intends to introduce through this phone, not necessarily, that's why it has the titles at the top of like.
Okay, but at the point in time when you introduce this, it's just going to be the 1039 and then the 1043 comments by Mr. Stillwell to 3188. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. So then the next, I guess, conversation is between.
So Mr. Nichols is main lizard. Now,
Okay, but we're not using that one at this point.
Lord.
Do we know who, I mean,